Welcome to Crypto Minutes, your daily cryptocurrency news for March 5, 2019. We source a minimum of 5 of the best trending articles of the day, from popular news aggregator CryptoPanic.com. Timestamps and the original articles can be found in the description links below.
Bitcoin's MACD prints strongest bull signal in over a year. The Moving Average Convergence Divergence (MACD) has become the latest charting indicator to signal Bitcoin may soon see a trend reversal that could put an end to its months-long price decline. As reported, the Money Flow Index (MFI), an indicator used to identify buy and sell pressure, created a divergence Sunday widely considered to be an early sign of a bearish to bullish trend change, while last week, Bitcoin saw a bearish crossover of its 50 and 100-week moving averages, a first since 2015. As such, the MACD became the latest in a series of indicators that, when applied to Bitcoin, point to seller exhaustion and a potential trend reversal as of Monday. The MACD, by definition, turns two trend-following moving averages into a momentum oscillator by subtracting the longer-term moving average from the shorter-term moving average. The price trend is considered to have turned bullish when the MACD line crosses above the signal line, the 9-period exponential moving average of the MACD line, at which point the histogram rises above the zero line. The higher the histogram, the farther apart the MACD and signal line are, indicating stronger momentum. As can be seen in the chart below, both bullish indications have indeed taken place. BTC USD Weekly Chart. Bitcoin's MACD line and signal line completed a bullish cross in early February, suggesting a reversal to the predominant downtrend may be in order. Since then, the histogram, representing the space between the two lines, has gradually increased to where it stands now at 102.38, its highest value since January of 2018. Further, the histogram failing to set low lows during its plunge from $6,000 to roughly $3,000 is another form of bullish divergence that points to weakening bearish momentum. It's worth noting the MACD did make a bullish cross accompanied by a positive histogram value in September of last year before the fall to $3,000, but the lack of separation between the MACD and signal line was evident and an indication the crossover was weak or invalid. This time around, the follow-through after the crossover is much more substantial. BTC USD Weekly MACD 2015. It can be seen in Bitcoin's weekly price chart from 2015 that the strong bullish MACD crossover accompanied by rising, positive histogram values indeed confirmed the cryptocurrency's price bottom had been set. What's more, bullish divergence within the histogram was evident before the positive cross of the MACD and signal line, similar to how it is in Bitcoin's current MACD readings. While indications of Bitcoin's price having bottomed out continue to emerge, caution is still the name of the game, so a break to new price lows backed by high sell volume would invalidate the bullish MACD signals. Ripple advising IMF at high-level discussions on Fintech. Is XRP on the agenda? Ripple co-founder Chris Larsen is joining high-level discussions with the International Monetary Fund on Fintech and the future of finance. A panel of 19 leaders in finance and technology have now held 2 meetings with IMF Director Christine Lagarde to explore the overall impact of the latest technological innovations in financial services. The latest meeting focused on how emerging technologies like blockchain can improve data and cybersecurity. Larsen joins a number of influential pioneers in the world of blockchain, including Circle CEO Jeremy Allaire, Chain CEO Adam Ludwin, Digital Asset Board member Blythe Masters and Blockchain.com president Marco Santori. Although recordings from the session have yet to be released, the IMF is well versed on the impact crypto startups and digital assets like Bitcoin, Ethereum and XRP could have on the financial landscape. At the Paris Fintech Forum in January, Lagarde warned banks need to act and adapt to new technologies to better serve their customers, highlighting the impact of Ripple and the Goldman-backed crypto startup Circle. I think in the banking system at large in many countries, the difference will not be between those who are disrupted and those who survive. The difference will be between those who are cannibalized because they're not seeing it coming, and they're not embracing it, and those who self-induce the cannibalization. And I'm using cannibalization on purpose because it's a bit of a striking, horrible word. But it's really what it means. You're going to disrupt your business model. You're going to change it. You're going to reduce your costs. You're going to expedite your transactions, and you're going to inspire confidence because you will build out on the basis of an existing backbone, which is your bank and the confidence relationship you've established with your customers. So that's where I see changes happening now. If you think of Circle and Ripple and all those, that's where they are active and helpful. The IMF panel held its first meeting in June, highlighting the need for an international consensus and focus on how distributed ledger technologies, mobile computing and artificial intelligence can advance the growth of fintech, maintain financial stability and increase confidence in the global financial ecosystem. Has your Coinbase personal data been sold? Executive admits leak. Coinbase now says its old analytics provider was selling its customers' data. Is it time to #delete Coinbase? Hundreds of people may have already done so since Coinbase acquired controversial surveillance firm Neutrino. And now it has tried to justify the hire by admitting that its former analytics providers were selling user data. The crypto on-ramp for millions of people, Coinbase caused quite the storm by acquiring blockchain analytics company Neutrino. Neutrino is made up of former members of Hacking Team, which is accused of selling spyware to oppressive governments around the world. Hacking Team was also involved in an attack on human rights activist Ahmed Mansour, who is now serving a 10-year prison sentence. Little wonder then that Coinbase's customers were alarmed about the hire. Now, to add fuel to the flames, in an interview with Cheddar, Coinbase head of sales, Christine Sandler revealed that the companies previously hired by the exchange to monitor blockchain data had been leaking customer data. Our current providers were actually selling client data to outside sources, and it was really compelling for us to get control over that and have proprietary technology that we could leverage to keep the data safe and protect our clients. Sandler said. It's unclear which analytics providers Coinbase is referring to, the scale of the breach and how much data was involved. Coinbase has not responded to requests for clarification. But, according to Messari, well-known analytics platforms Chainalysis and Elliptic are possible candidates as they recently adopted a give-get model, with get being the operative word. The way it works is that, in order to use the firm's surveillance technology, exchanges must first provide data about their customers. It's a sort of quid pro quo where the surveillance firms can then sell this data on, regardless if the exchange is happy about it or not. The exchange's displeasure at the practice of selling data may have been what drove it to acquire Neutrino. But was it a wise move? The acquisition raises yet more questions about data. While Neutrino is now owned by Coinbase, it will still operate as a separate company, providing data to governments on who is moving what money and where. But will it be allowed to harvest Coinbase's vast treasure trove of personal data? The exchange's privacy policy suggests that won't be the case. It doesn't allow for personal data to be sold. But privacy policies can change, especially after acquisitions. Let's keep a close eye on it. BAKKT Bitcoin Futures, new info reveals equity for Starbucks in exchange for adoption. 1. New leaked information reveals that Starbucks received a significant equity stake in BAKKT Bitcoin Futures platform, in exchange for using its software to facilitate purchases of Starbucks products with cryptocurrencies. 2. BAKKT's launch is on a never-ending delay due to regulatory approval. 3. Direct Bitcoin payments for Starbucks could bring unprecedented utility to the first cryptocurrency. In August last year, Starbucks made a surprising announcement that they would be partnering with the Bitcoin futures platform BAKKT. What was initially interpreted as Starbucks accepting Bitcoin, was later clarified as a partnership in which BAKKT would only let users trade and convert Bitcoin into fiat currencies, which they would use to pay for items at Starbucks. Instead of paying for coffee directly with Bitcoin, buyers would pay with Bitcoin that will be auto-converted to fiat by BAKKT's software. Still, many people were curious about why the partnership was occurring in the first place, and what Starbucks would benefit for associating its brand name with Bitcoin. Starbucks and BAKKT's equity. A recent report now reveals that Starbucks did, in fact, have something to acquire, which is a significant equity stake in BAKKT. Although the details have not been discussed, the stake has been described as disproportionately high given they did not make a cash investment. This sort of arrangement makes sense when considering the value and strength of Starbucks' brand, and how any company that is associated with it gets a massive boost in visibility and new customers. So for BAKKT, the equity granted to Starbucks was likely well worth the investment. Starbucks oversees implementation. In terms of implementation, we are likely to see a crypto-to-fiat card that will be operated by BAKKT and can be topped up using the Starbucks mobile app. Starbucks has made it clear that they would be having a major influence over the user interface and customer experience, something Starbucks has a long track record of excelling in. Other new information reveals that the first phase of the partnership would take place in the US, whereas BAKKT's interface would convert Bitcoin to USD. No specific roadmap was mentioned regarding when they plan to become global. However, doing so might save Starbucks a significant amount of money in foreign exchange fees, as BAKKT would enable global customers to switch from crypto directly to US dollars. Starbucks and crypto. BAKKT's never-ending delays may affect Starbucks' partnership. It also turns out that the delay of BAKKT's launch has affected the launch of the Starbucks partnership. BAKKT has been trying to get regulatory approval from the CFTC, Commodity Futures Trading Commission. However, the recent government shutdown led to a continuous delay of the anticipated launch that was recently intended for January 24 until they could receive regulatory approval. So far the new launch date has been set. This puts a damper on the Starbucks partnership, as Starbucks cannot be seen to be working with a crypto exchange that doesn't yet have regulatory approval. Conclusion. The prospects of such partnership sounds very encouraging for both Starbucks and the crypto space as a whole. Although the coffee chain is not accepting Bitcoin directly, this partnership could be the precursor to Bitcoin being used to pay for coffee. As we've previously discussed, the ramifications of Bitcoin being adopted as a form of payment in Starbucks would introduce a new level of mainstream utility. In the meantime, we will have to wait patiently for BAKKT to receive regulatory approval so that the Starbucks partnership can commence. Venezuela launches government service for sending Bitcoin and Litecoin to its citizens. Last week, the government of Venezuela launched a new cryptocurrency remittance service called Patria that allows people from anywhere in the world to send Bitcoin (BTC) and Litecoin (LTC) to the residents of that country. In late January, Venezuela's Ministry of Popular Power for Communication and Information (MIPPCI) published an official gazette that included the constituent decree on the integral system of crypto assets. This meant that businesses wishing to work with crypto had to register with SUNACRIP and follow its rules. The penalty for not registering is equivalent to 100 to 300 petros. The directors of those firms not following the rules will be punished by 1 to 3 years in prison and a penalty equivalent to 50 to 100 petros. Here are some of the terms of service as specified by SUNACRIP for the Patria platform. 1. The recipient must be a natural person of legal age, domiciled in the territory of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela. 2. The recipient may receive cryptoassets up to a value equivalent in foreign currency to 10 petros 10 PTR per month. SUNACRIP may exceptionally authorize an amount higher than the one referred to in this article, upon reasoned request of the recipient, up to a maximum of the equivalent value in foreign currency to 50 petros 50 PTR. 3. The sender must pay a commission up to a maximum amount of 15% calculated on the total of the remittance, in bolivars, and a minimum amount equivalent to 0.25 euros per transaction. To use Patria, the sender must specify an email address. The system will send to this email address a one-time access code. Once the sender has logged into Patria, he will be asked to give his name, date of birth, and country of residence. Here is what senders need to do to initiate a crypto remittance. 1. Give details about the national identity card and date of birth of the person who will receive the remittance. You can also specify a note for the recipient. 2. Select the cryptocurrency to be used for the transfer, Bitcoin or Litecoin, and the amount to send, and 3. Make the transfer from their crypto wallet to the address indicated by the Patria platform. The euro value of the transfer is based on the current euro price for Bitcoin and Litecoin, for example, 3,286.20 and 40.28, as of the time of writing 1410 Coordinated Universal Time on March 4, as published on the Patria website, and the sovereign bolivar amount delivered to the recipient will be based on the official EURVES exchange rate published by the central bank. Currently, this is 3,758.94. Once the recipient has been notified of the accreditation of the remittance, he may process through the Patria platform the funds received in bolivars to the bank account he has registered on the Patria platform.
Thank you for listening to Crypto Minutes. This is not financial advice. If you enjoyed the articles, please click like, share and subscribe or donate. See you tomorrow for more breaking news.